Frederick Bryan,
Here.
Richard Wasowski, Mark Wentz,
Here.
Jason Buss, Jason Walters,
Here.
Monica James, here, Mayor Jesse Mihas.
Here. Can we get the approval of the minutes, please?
Make that motion. Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Selly, second Mrs. Bowen. Any questions, comments, amendments? All in favor of approval?
Yes.
All opposed?
Next, we're gonna move into some legislation here. We're gonna go to the norm, so the, chief can put on some guys here tonight.
Mayor, first is Resolution 2013-36, an emergency resolution confirming the Mayor Director of Public Safety's appointment of Patrick Ahern as a part-time police officer. Is there a motion to suspend the three reading rule?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mrs. Volney. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
All opposed? Is there a motion for passage?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mr. Schleter. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
All opposed? Next is Resolution 2013-37, an emergency resolution confirming the Mayor Director of Public Safety's appointment of Spencer Sabelli as a part-time police officer. Is there a motion to suspend the three reading rule?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bullock, seconded by Mrs. Volney. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
All opposed? Is there a motion for passage?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mr. Schleter. All in favor of passage?
Aye.
Yes.
All opposed? Chief Wentz.
You have the floor.
Thank you. Just a couple remarks before we swear the two new officers in tonight to the department. A lot of things are gonna happen in the next 6 months to a year in this village. There's an awful lot going on. Everything that we knew about Northfield Village is about to change, and that's for every department within the administration and along with the village itself. And that's so we continue to move forward with the police department, and we are looking for the best that we can possibly find. And that I went through quite a few applications before we found these two young men that we're about to swear in tonight. And I was speaking to Patrick downstairs briefly with his parents and his girlfriend Molly, and letting them know what an unselfish profession this is to get into. And that I made the joke about this has been a proud moment. If you don't know, he attended Walsh Jesuit High School and John Carroll University. Myself, I'm a graduate of St. Ignatius High School, another Jesuit high school. So it's been a proud moment for the Jesuits over the last couple of weeks with the new Pope. In fact, I let them know that he did send a text. He wanted to be here tonight, but he was tied up in Rome and that with other matters. But the thing about the philosophy of the high school that he went through and that I went through, and then John Carroll, he followed suit, along with what Spencer obviously has in family, and that the support and everything that everyone puts behind him. You've led your son to a profession that is honorable, and he takes great pride, and we take great pride in having him on this department. And that the motto for St. Ignatius, as Patrick knows, is meant for others. And what better profession and what better way to show it than to become a law enforcement officer. So I take a lot of pride in putting these two young men on. I take a lot of pride every time that I can swear in a new officer. And I'm on my 34th year. And to this day I still enjoy the job. I still enjoy the profession. I could not be happier than where I'm at. And that we are never going to get rich in this job. But we're never going to be richer in our life than the job that we do. So I thank both of you for putting in your application with us. I thank both of you that you've decided to take this profession on. For those of you that don't know, he's got a lot on the table. His father and I were discussing it downstairs. There's some mixed emotions there because he is attending college right now. He's a graduate already of college. He's also in the military, and he has commitment to the military. So he's already formed his young life into making that commitment to the United States and to the people of this country. and that, and now he's gonna be taking care of the people of Northfield along with Patrick. So we couldn't be better suited and happier to have these two young men on. So Patrick, we'll do you first. If you'll step forward, I'll come out there. If you raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Patrick Ahern,
I, Patrick Ahern,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the statutes of the United States of America,
and the statutes of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances of the Village of Northfield,
and the Charter and ordinances of the Village of Northfield,
County of Summit, Ohio,
County of Summit, Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge my duties as a part-time officer
discharge my duties as a part-time officer
for the Village of Northfield
for the Village of Northfield
during my continuance in said position
during my continuance in said position
according to the best of my ability and understanding.
according to the best of my ability and understanding.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome. Let's get the other officer on here. Spencer, how are you? Good, good. If you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Spencer Sabelli,
I, Spencer Sabelli,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the statutes of the United States of America,
and the statutes of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
constitutions and laws of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances of the Village of Northfield,
and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Northfield,
County of Summit, Ohio,
County of Summit, Ohio.
and that I will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge my duties as a part-time officer
discharge my duties as a part-time officer
for the Village of Northfield
for the Village of Northfield
during my continuance in said position
during my continuance in said position
according to the best of my ability and understanding.
according to the best of my ability and understanding.
Congratulations. So if you wanna take any photos, Jeff, for the, just so you know, this is Jeff Saunders from the News Leader. I'd like to put your handsome faces in the local newspaper. Let me get the, that's yours. You will be at badge 815. It's yours, and you will be badge 819. Okay, come this direction here, Mayor. Love to get you in the picture. Should we look at Molly?
No.
Okay, no? Dad, come on out here if you want, whatever you need to do.
If you don't mind, thank you.
You want a picture with them?
Yeah, I would.
I'm sure you would. Is this a brother?
This is my brother Sean, my brother Steve.
Okay, because looking at him, he would have fit in with the department right off the top. You want to put in an application now? Dad, you want to take some pictures with your son? Mom? Molly? Come on.
I'm sorry, here you sit there.
Do you want to get in? Wait, okay, Lisa will take it. She's our, just so you know, she's our corporate voice. We're squeezing Mom out over here.
Oh wait, I missed Dad. Hold on. He's tall. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I know. We need. Mom, You wanna take a picture? We can get you in. Get both your parents, you want your brothers in? Sure. Okay. Do group photo. Sure you want to come nap, huh? You got your haircut.
Want to go to the camera? Alright, I'll send it.
Here, Dad, why don't you get back here if you want to, and then we're gonna have you back here. All right. Should put the tall guy in the back, he's up front.
Alright, ready?
Okay, all right. And I said, if you're up to it, if you wanna go across the street and join us there for a few minutes over at Spinato's, happy to have you over there. Okay, we're gonna be heading over now. So if you wanna meet us over there, you can, okay? Council, thank you, Mayor, thank you.
Welcome.
Do I need to stay for anything tonight, or can? Okay.
Good news. Want to tell us about your good news?
Which? Huh? Yes, I was gonna leave it for the next meeting, but the new vehicles and the new SUVs in, so, but it's sitting there right now, we're gonna get it up to, Cordino to start putting the striping on some flags.
It'll look similar to the car.
Yes, oh yeah, it's just gonna be reworked to fit it.
Yeah.
That's all, but it'll be the same design,
Great.
so, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, is there anyone in the audience that has anything to address? Mr. Sheffron.
As most of you know, my name's Howard Shaffron. I'm with the Summit Plaza and Bike Road Plaza. I'm really here to introduce someone I've been working with for several years in various fashions. Right now, he is doing some work in energy saving. That's correct, Tom? And he's been working with a few of the vendors at the plaza, trying to save them some money on their electric and gas bill. His name is Tom Krzyzak, and he has no problem speaking.
No. Sign in?
Yes, Tom, please.
Okay, all right. All right.
I'm gonna pass these out. Just one
Funny, John. Okay. Mayor, how much time do I have?
5 minutes.
5 minutes in this thing. My name is Tom Krzyzak. The name of my company is HP Technologies. I'm a gas energy consultant broker. We're out of Avon. We've been in business for 17 years, and we are a licensed broker in the Ohio area. So what I do with the different cities in the meetings is really advise them, along with finding them better rates on what they pay for electricity and gas, is advise them exactly what's taking place on electricity and gas in the years to come. That chart that you're holding, that looks like this. Pull that out. It looks like that. It's not colored, but, all right? I want to talk about electricity and what's happening in that business. First Energy is going to be closing 4 of their Northeast Ohio power plants. Familiar with that over a period of several years? Well, that power now is going to be coming from the East Coast under what they call the PJM grid on that. It's located in the New Jersey area. And what's happening here is the capacity cost, because of that, is going to be going up exponentially On that chart that you have there in front of you, if you look under the line illuminating company, go across there, and then you go down and you see 2012, 2013. The capacity cost, and what capacity is the amount of energy that's in the power grid, so that if everybody uses maximum electricity at one time, there's enough in the grid so there's not a blackout. So that's what, in effect, capacity is. Well, the capacity cost in the year 2012, 2013 is a pretty negligible amount. It's 0.002 on that, 2 mils. That represents, most businesses pay around 6 cents a kilowatt hour. Capacity is 0.002, so it's pretty negligible. In the year 2013 and part of 2014, it's about the same thing, about 0.028 on that.
Can I interrupt just for 1 second, because what I'm looking at says 0.02, not 0.00.
Yeah, you just got to move it over one to the left there. These,
Okay.
I'm talking, it's in kilowatts. These are in hundreds of watts
Okay.
here. So
Thank you.
yes, okay. So it's add a zero, put a zero to the left there. So it's 0.002, which is the capacity cost right now in this current year and into 2014. But when you look at 2014, 2015, that capacity cost goes up to about 1.28 cents. 1.28 cents. That is monumental if somebody's paying 6 cents. In 2015-16, it's going up 0.294 cents. Businesses don't know about this. They don't know about this. So unless a plan is so structured for them that can take some of the bite out of this, they're absolutely going to be waylaid as far as what the cost of electricity. They're not getting any better electricity. It's just going to cost them far, far more. What we do is help find better electric rates for everybody, so to take some of the bite out of that. All right, that's electricity. This next sheet. Turn over that PUCO. All right, natural gas. Natural gas is supplied by independent gas suppliers here in Northeast Ohio. They're governed by the PUCO on what their range that they can charge, either on a fixed rate or on a variable plus basis points. There's a range for that government. Because they've been complaining for years that they don't make any money, the PUCO says, all right, come April of this year, we're taking the gloves off and you can charge whatever rate you want, natural gas suppliers. So if businesses are not under contract, these suppliers can charge whatever they want. I help put these people on a contract to alleviate this problem. So what I offer for the businesses here in Northfield is a plan to help them manage their energy rates. And these are two very, very serious things that are happening in the energy world that 95% of the small business people, maybe more, they don't know this is coming. If you don't plan for it, oh boy. And small, medium-sized businesses today, they're holding on by their fingernails, folks. You know, I go around the cities all holding on by to get this kind of cost increase for nothing that, yeah, it's terrible. Tom Krzyzak, HP Technologies.
Thank you.
Any questions are allowed to be entertained?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Any questions? No questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, right on 5.
Yeah, I'm just, like, you're just for businesses, this wouldn't be for the whole village, it would just be for businesses?
Just for businesses, not for residential. Right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, reports of municipal officers. The mayor would like to report that I have met with the track regarding an EMS contract with the track. We're working on the final details. I won't have anything until next week. But things are going very well with that. Chief Boss has been amazing getting everything together. And like I said, we plan on having something to council next week. Finance Director, Monica James.
The stated last meeting, OTAS is going very well. We're still, again, working on little things that we're tweaking, and we're still, working with the department heads to make sure that we all understand each other and make this a smooth transition. And also last week, I did meet with, Mike Troyan from our, health insurance, and he was giving me a brief, kind of a lesson on what we can look forward to next year. Because we haven't changed our healthcare, either the actual policy or what we offer to the employees since 2010, we are actually gonna be grandfathered into a lot of the healthcare changes that are going to take place in 2014. Now, there will be more things that affect us in 2015, but the biggest thing that's going to affect us in 2014 is that when we go to renew, it's going to cost us $65 per employee. Okay, so we are gonna have to pay that fee.
For what?
Okay, that fee, that's the fee that's going to help pay for health insurance for the uninsured,
It's,
for those people who can't,
per person tax. It's,
Yeah.
legislation.
okay.
Well, this is only the beginning.
Yeah, it's only the
This is
beginning.
coming.
There's more.
Oh, yeah.
I have some information here, which I believe Mr. Schluter, or Mrs. Greenlee's Health and Welfare, when she's feeling better, I'll get with her, and then she might wanna elect to have Mike come to a meeting, you know, maybe in September, to explain to council
That'd be great.
some of the things that we've got coming. There should be no changes this year. There may be an increase in premium, but he doesn't think so this year.
We
Probably
had
not.
talked last fall that we wanna start doing quarterly updates with him.
Okay,
Kinda that everybody could get on the page and see if there's some way we can save and how it was going and.
We talked about in the health and welfare, or the meetings where we were talking about this, about bringing in speakers to explain how to, when it would behoove you to go to an emergency room versus a, urgent care center.
We talked about a wellness plan.
In the
Wellness.
wellness plan,
And
and you
you
follow up with him
educate
about that.
Yes.
employees on how to see.
Right. And that, for the employees, spouses, things like that, to come in and explain, you know, when you have a bee sting, you know, go here versus there,
Right.
trying to
Grin and bear.
use the best, grin and bear,
Okay.
use the best,
Here's a stick.
so it's not so costly versus an emergency road, you know, to define that.
okay,
And since
we
we're
talked
coming
about
up-
that.
Since we're coming up on a quarter, you
Yeah.
know, we kind of probably wanna follow through with that.
okay,
I think last year was awesome, because we knew ahead of time, and then Jason and I work a little bit with what he was able to do. Together, we were able to come up with a super plan,
Right.
because we did it ahead of time.
Right.
And I think that's the thing, on a lot of this stuff, you know, we had the time, you know, and we had the opportunity to research and change a few things and, you know, not make it, too difficult. So, you know, this is a really, and this could be a big issue, I mean, a big cost down the road. And so that would be great if we could just go ahead and continue to do that.
Great, thank you.
that's all I have unless council has questions.
I just have one question of clarification, just so we have it on the record.
Okay.
The purchase of the vehicle, which obviously has come in now, was all financed for the entire vehicle as well as the striping and whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
The entire cost of putting that vehicle on the road is going to be financed.
Okay, just so I know that I asked the question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mrs. James. Moving on, engineer Richard Sells will be at the next meeting. Law director Brad Bryan.
I have no report this evening.
Thank you, Brad. Moving on to department heads, police chief Mark Wentz will be at the next meeting. Fire chief Jason Buss will be at the next meeting. Service and building department superintendent Jason Walters.
Okay, salt usage is approximately at 600 tons right now for the season. Just to let you know, last year we used about 350 ton at this point. So change. We got about 120 tons on hand. I just brought 50 ton in just to be safe. I don't wanna keep it, we can hold about 300, but I don't wanna sit on that as far as money wise, so. Trying to keep it low, but enough that if something kicks in, we're alright.
How much do we still have to buy?
We're over.
Good.
I only had to buy 300.
Good.
Do you recall, Jason, what you might have spent in 2011? Like, is this more of an average year?
This is an average year. I'm usually 650, 700, somewhere in that area.
Okay.
So it's really still kind of down a little bit, to be honest, but.
Yeah, it's not over yet. We may get it.
I hope so.
Right.
It would be nice.
Of that 600, 120 is sitting in the barn, so. Alright, 199 Ledge, we're near completion. We should be ready to open sometime in April, we're all hoping. May would be the worst case scenario, I'd say, but the biggest thing now that has to happen is just getting the phone and internet system up and running and things like that, so.
I checked it out today down at the new building. You guys are moving the furniture in that we got from the county.
Yep.
And it looks really nice down there. I would encourage all of council to stop by the new service building and check it out.
We can do that just any time other than lunchtime.
I have a
Go at
key,
lunchtime.
you know, so if you wanna get in and see it,
Somebody's there.
give me a
Give
ring.
me a call.
Gotta be there.
I'll meet
Give
you
it a
there.
call.
Let's do it, okay.
Yeah.
I've been trying to open it more now as far as leave it, but we're in and out, but if we're in and out enough, I'll leave it open, but, you know, once we really are there. If you just give a call, I'll meet you there, I'll make sure
Okay.
one of us.
I would like to suggest that we have a sign made for the building, so that when we do open, we have a sign ready.
Where's the sign?
It's up.
It's up.
It's up, right? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, I drove by.
It's probably, what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
Do we have like a ribbon cutting for something like that?
We will.
Okay, I didn't know if, you know, like, I would think that would be significant.
What I kinda wanna do is, I kinda wanna intertwine some things here. I wanna have people view what we've done in the town hall, you know, police station, up in the administrative offices. I also wanna do a thing for Mrs. Greenlee's husband, with the tree and the plaque and everything, you know. So, I wanna kinda commingle that all together, and we'll also have a ribbon cutting for the,
Wow, that's great.
Northfield Village Open House.
yes. Do it all at once, one day.
Great.
Okay, as Mayor mentioned, we did go to the county surplus and we found, a lot of furniture, business furniture. We got, lateral file cabinets, a lot of the stuff we needed, which I had listed a few $1,000s if we had to buy, we've got, so, and that basically cost us, I did have the guys rent a U-Haul truck, it was just easier. We got one right here in town for 2 days and, we got all that stuff, so it cost us about $150 for,
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars.
that shop is full of furniture right now.
Great.
So, what we plan on doing now is basically lining that upstairs with all those little file cabinets and then actually storing the files, bring them up and actually put them in the cabinets instead of in boxes. That's the newest plan, being that we have all that. Right now, I've been just setting up the offices a little bit here and there. We're getting there.
You've been doing a lot of furniture repair too. I mean, you've been doing a great job.
Oh, yeah, we've been just rehabbing stuff and, you know, making it look good, making it match what's there, so. Lisa Rodriguez and I, we went to Columbus and we did get that, Toshiba copier that we were originally gonna purchase new. I think we were gonna purchase or a lease agreement, something that we were looking at. This one has actually more options, like the hole puncher does have a stapler, it has, all kinds of stuff. I really don't know a lot about it. I just made sure it worked, things like that. I looked at the count, I looked for one with this has a very low count. So instead of in the neighborhood of 8,000, we were at $800. So that's what the copier cost. And then they did agree to do a maintenance agreement on it, being that it isn't, the guy told us it's in excellent shape. They will maintain it, but it's $84, $84.90.
Thing's a monster too, you should see this thing.
It is.
It's huge.
The clerk's office is, pretty much finished, other than, Jay's just gotta set up the computer stuff, so, if you haven't seen it, take a look, it's looking great.
They did an exceptional job, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah, they really do
Great
do a
work.
good job. Take their time, they do it right.
They said, when I saw them on Monday, they said, we're just happy to be working inside. It's okay, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, they do a real nice job. The Racino, the inspections have been going well, I haven't had any real issues there. Rich and I had a meeting there the other day over the, traffic signals. Basically, they were talking to the bidders, and they had us there just to kinda answer questions and stuff, for my inspections, and then along with, anything that Rich wanted or we've seen as being a problem.
And these are the mast arms, correct?
Yes.
Just so council knows.
Did they get Walton Hills to sign off on the location? Okay.
Gene's taking care of that.
Okay.
And if he has trouble, I can call him, but let's see how he does.
The way Rich made it sound is, the equipment, the 97 Chevy, we have the drive shaft's basically welded itself to where it's,
This is to the 97?
yeah, let's just make it short. The drive shaft needs to be replaced. We're not gonna buy a new one, they're expensive, so we have a search going on, find a good one in a junkyard somewhere, or take apart and bring it in. I'm not gonna put $1,000 piece in this truck, so, we should find one soon. I would imagine a few $100, not much more than that, to get that going.
Can we do that in-house?
We are doing it in the house.
Great.
The 550, the 2000 Ford F-550, that's got cab issues and stuff, the salt's finally gotten to it. I'm sending it to Valores to go ahead and fix that. The truck is a 2000, it's not high on miles, but it's a diesel. Mechanically, it cost me $60,000 to replace that truck. I'm good with just putting a little money in it and keep it going, so. It's still, if you look at it from the outside, it looks fine. It's when you get under it and look and see the issues that it has, and I wanna stop that. So, we're gonna send that out.
Which truck is that?
That's the little salt truck.
Okay.
It's got the yellow box on the back.
Yep.
So, potholes. We've used 8 ton of coal patch at this point, patching various potholes. We're doing our best to keep up with them. If anybody is getting any calls, or if you see something, Mary's got one.
Milford and Cranbrook. Right in front of that house, right next to the playground.
Do you have an anticipated date when the asphalt plant will open?
No. I would say we gotta get some weather to
Yeah,
break,
yeah.
but generally it's April 15th, somewhere in that area. Mower maintenance class, Roger, Chris, and Charles Tim attended a mower maintenance class that Baker Vehicle Systems put on. It was an 8-hour class.
Good class.
It was $15 per man, so I decided to send them, it's, they get a certificate for it and everything. And then Chris, Sammy, Pranovic, and Charles Tim attended the advanced sewer maintenance class. And that was advanced pipe cleaning techniques for both sanitary and storm. It was a great class. That one was $150 per man. If we took 2, they would give us 2, so we did that. We took 2, we sent 4 guys. It's worth it. They were actually there almost 9 hours, so they learned a lot. especially on the biggest thing I learned is on root cutting, so. Those classes, when they come up, I like to send them to those things, so. That's basically all I have to talk about, unless you have any questions for me.
Jason, when we were doing the bills today, we see that, example is oil change for police car number 832. Can we, and I know you guys do a lot of the work in-house, but do you have a system set up currently where each vehicle, even internally, has a number so that Monica can attribute costs to each vehicle?
I don't do the oil changes on the police cars.
No, I mean, for
on
your
your
vehicles. I mean, I know the police cars are unique.
Each one of my vehicles has a number.
Okay,
Oh,
so
you just need
there
to
is a
go
way,
here.
Yeah,
okay.
Could you get that to me?
yeah.
Thank you.
She,
Maybe
the
another
new
number.
system, she can actually have put money towards each different vehicle
Yes.
then. Thank you.
Each one of them have a number, I'll give them to you. That's not a problem. Yep. We actually needed to do that for insurance
They have a
years
number.
ago, so, yeah.
Don't they also have to do numbers for the licenses?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all numbered. I'll give you a list tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, does that conclude your report, Jason?
Sure.
Reports of municipal boards and commissions, planning commission, Mrs. Sally?
Brad, have you heard anything to indicate a meeting
I heard,
needed?
Howard, you, have anything
Dollar
coming
General.
up for planning commission?
Soon. I can't tell you when.
Next meeting would be the third week in April, just third Wednesday in April, so.
Okay. I'll
Would
let
you
them know.
like us to schedule one?
Can you shoot me an email tomorrow, someone, and I'll forward it to them?
Okay. Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
That's all.
Cemetery board, Mrs. Greenlee is not present. Does anyone else have a report for the cemetery? Okay. Recreation board will meet the first Thursday, which is the 4th, at 7:30. Charter review meets the first Wednesday, which is the 3rd, at 7:30. Brad, do you have anything else to add for charter review?
No, I think, probably, this month and then, in May, we should be done. So I'm ready to submit what they wanna submit to council by then.
Okay. Mary, you have a question?
No, actually had, I had a resident, not in my ward, in somebody who lives in Fell, asked, golly, wouldn't it be nice if we had a pool in Northfield Village? In
A
Smith Park.
pool?
Uh-huh. I said, oh my gosh, I never thought about that, but the insurance rates would be a little high.
And the maintenance is
And the
unbelievable.
maintenance, and they said, well, if you could explain, if you could, bring it up to,
Let's put a pond.
recreation, no, they wanna swim.
Just on a pond.
Swim in a pond, I grew up in
What'd you say?
I grew up in a pond, my,
Thank you, Jason. Anyway, I just wanted
Used to have a pond
to,
up there, fishing and stuff.
did they?
Would be
Okay.
nice. if we
Yeah.
could-
Oh, it'd be tremendous.
Yeah. Never
we're
that
digging it
pond.
tomorrow.
Of course, we'd probably lose all of it. Did we,
It's a nightmare to have a pool.
we passed an ordinance
We
that
just asked.
requires
Twice.
a collective
Come up
fee
with 8 times
for
a
use
year.
of our fields?
Yes.
At one time, to be honest with you, they were talking about the Lincoln Apartments pool.
Mm-hmm.
There was talk of maybe us taking that over because they wanted to shut it down. This was quite a few years ago, but it still is it's a,
I was on council when that was discussed.
yeah, it was years ago. It was like probably, I don't know, 8 or so, I don't remember, but it's come up a few times.
It's a full-time employee for the summer and a bunch of
Phew.
other lifeguards and everything else.
That's
people-
the easy
You'd have
part.
to charge,
People don't
you'd have to
understand.
charge a fee.
People
Yeah.
understand the maintenance that's involved at the pool. I mean,
Chemicals.
when
So it's,
we have a pool at the academy where I work, and it's a constant maintenance.
Well, I said, in addition to the insurance and the maintenance and
Yeah,
we
the
wouldn't mind
special
spending a
drains,
fee to go to, but there's no pool. Fell Lake's gone, there's nothing really local.
oh, it'd be great. I mean, I
Right.
agree, the community, I like to have another Fell Lake somewhere. or something like it,
Right.
would be, you know, I
Well,
remember when that closed, my kids were devastated.
Exactly.
You know,
So,
Lake Plata, same thing.
Well,
Lake
Yeah.
Plata, same thing.
the only option that they would have at this point is they could buy a pass to the Family Recreation Center in Macedonia.
That's right.
Yeah, except
That's
that's
an
not,
indoor
that's
pool,
an
and you
indoor
really
pool.
won't.
You know, so anyway, that was just brought up and I thought I would bring it up.
Well, thank you.
Jason,
Any question?
we had passed an ordinance requiring, licensing or user fees for our athletic fields.
They're already on the website.
Has anyone come in and paid you yet?
No. No, we forwarded them all
Okay,
to them, and they said they'll be getting everything back to us, so.
okay, it's a
They'll
little
hear
early
back.
still, so,
What's that?
it's a little early yet for ball.
Yeah.
All the
They should be
fees and
coming in.
everything, are on the recreation page
Okay.
on the website. Brad, do you have anything else for charter review?
No, Mayor.
Okay. Moving on, reports of standing committees, finance, Mr. Bullock.
Okay, we met today, to go over the bills. The new OTAS system appears to be working really well. We made a few little suggestions and some things we'd like to see done, and, one of them was, let's try to put the numbers in for the vehicles for you, and that'll be easy to do, that you already have that. Another is, every time a check is written now, it'll be a 3-part. So someone will be signing that bottom part, so that when it gets torn off and the top 2 go to the vendor, we have a copy for our files that someone on the committee signed.
Right.
And then we're also still gonna sign the purchase order, but if it's a blanket, we're gonna mark it in such a way that reflects there's no signature required because there's a blanket. So we're gonna have Monica have a stamp made, so it'll be stamped, and then we can initial
Monica,
where.
don't you already have a page that you sign for blankets?
I do, yes, but,
But that's something that they wouldn't see.
right, they never
I
would
gotcha,
see that, so.
I gotcha.
Because right
mine
now,
is-
when there's a blanket, that page isn't with each of the checks, it's missing.
Got you.
So
Right.
we're just gonna, that way when the auditors
I
come,
see.
they can
I
see
see
that
that.
we didn't just pay it, someone actually
Okay.
reviewed it.
All right,
And actually-
I gotcha.
She's gonna have the whole binder of blanket and ongoing, so if we have to review it during our review, we
Right.
have it right down.
Okay.
And, the payment of the bills for the month, ordinance 2013-43. Brad, if you could read that.
Sure. Ordinance 2013-43, an emergency ordinance approving the payment of bills for the month of March 2013 as per below. Total payments from the general account, $56,437.59. Is that the correct?
Yes, move to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bullock, seconded by Mrs. Selly. Any questions, comments, or amendments? All in favor of approval?
Yes.
All opposed?
I'd just like to say that the department heads did a really great job with, watching the money this month. They all really came together and, said, you know, hey, you gotta watch what we're spending, and, shows in this payment of the bills that we did that.
I also would like to reflect that, we previously passed a resolution authorizing Jason to spend like $6,700 for the printer, and he saved us about $6,000 by buying this one for $800 instead. So I do wanna make sure that, I don't know if we need to rescind it or amend that piece of legislation, that we ended up only spending $800. But I wanted to publicly let people know that we were able to save
No,
about
we're good, it was, you know,
not to exceed, so, yeah. And again, thanks,
Nice
Jason,
job.
I mean, it's a lot of extra effort but it saved us a lot of money.
Guys have done a lot of things I should know, and I appreciate it.
Okay.
And that's the end of my report.
Oh, no problem.
The finance committee will meet again on April 24th at 6:30 to review the bills for the month of
When's that meeting?
April 24th at 6:30.
Does that conclude your report,
Yes.
Mr. Bullock?
Yes.
Okay. Roads and Public Works, Mr. Schleter?
Last meeting, Rich was talking about, doing the testing bores, and they had hit water, and, they weren't gonna stop until, they got that in. And I noticed them, doing more tests as I passed by, and I was talking to you about that, but evidently we've been testing several roads, or?
We're done. We got Houghton's complete, Eight's complete, and Summit's complete.
So it's Houghton what?
Houghton, Route 8, Northfield Road, and Summit.
So, we've made the tests and all that, have they gotten back any results, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. As Councilman Bullock had mentioned, that on Houghton, we hit a lot of rock, so it just changes some things as far as bidding, little more work than we anticipated, but.
Okay, and then you're working on the potholes, so, as you always do.
They're unfortunately never ending.
Never ending job, yeah.
Yeah, so.
And that ends my report.
Thank you, Mr. Schleter. Health and Welfare, Mrs. Greenlee is not present. Does anyone have anything for that committee?
I just think it's great that Monica brought that up, that, it's the health and wellness component we've always talked about, and we really wanna do that, so I think now would be a great time to set that up for at least the first quarter if we can.
Okay. Buildings and Grounds, Mrs. Selly.
No report.
Wages and Working Conditions, Mrs. Bowen.
Nothing at this time.
Fire and Safety, Mrs. Volney.
No report.
Legislation, Brad.
Ordinance 2013-32, an emergency ordinance declaring improvements to certain parcels of real property to be a public purpose, describing the public improvements to be made to directly benefit such parcels, requiring the owner of the improvements on such parcels to make service payments in lieu of taxes, and establishing a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of such service payments, all pursuant to Ohio Revised Code sections 570940, 570942, and 570943. It's on second reading. It's my understanding we want to leave this on second reading today, and it will be on third reading the first meeting.
Yes.
And we do have the signed notices back from both school boards that they received our notices. And I've talked to both treasurers and superintendents and explained to them what's going on. So. Next is 2013-35, an emergency resolution confirming the mayor's appointment of Joshua Harder as a part-time employee with the service department. And this is the summer person for the summer, right, Jason? But he's gonna start earlier and help you guys.
Yeah, he's gonna be, basically, he's that villain type of guy. Timmy isn't coming back, Tim McRitchie, and we chose, we're gonna stay with the way the budgets are and everything. We're gonna not hire like 2 more kids. We're just gonna kind of replace Tim and then leave him in there working as much as he can when we can, and see where it takes it. So instead of hiring 2 or 3, we're just gonna bring 1 in and take it from there. So just leave it open as far as how much we can use, how much work's actually in front of us, and see what where it leads.
Was Joshua Harder, was he a seasonal in the past?
No.
Okay.
No. Joshua Harder did all of his service hours for the school with us. And he came here, he's a resident, he lives on Nesbitt, no, Chafee in Sagamore. So he comes by, and his dad is a service worker for Valley View. He talked to his dad about it. He says, well, you're better off to go to another one. So he stopped into us one day and asked if he could start doing the service hours there. He was on the leaf crew when he could this past year, so.
He's gonna fit right in, cause he's already been working.
Yes.
So he's got some experience knowing the
Yes.
guys and the equipment.
So that's why we chose to go ahead and move him on to he's done some free work for us, so we'll actually put him on now. He's a very good kid. He's 20 years old.
Well, the family well too.
That's his cousin lived over on May. So he's a very good kid.
Great.
So,
Is there a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mrs. Selly. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Is there a motion for passage?
So moved.
thank you.
Motion by Mrs. Volney, second by Mr. Schleter.
That's fine.
Any questions or comments? All in favor of passage?
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Next is, Resolution 2013-38, an emergency resolution setting forth the appropriations for the fiscal year 2013 and submitting the same to the county fiscal officer. Is there a motion to suspend the 3 reading?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mrs. Selly. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
All opposed? Is there a motion for passage?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mrs. Volney. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I'd like to say as chairman of the finance committee, really had tremendous cooperation from all the departments this year. It's a very challenging circumstance we're in. The county has said that our revenues this year are decreasing $600,000 from last year. We keep hearing about, you know, all this money that's gonna come to us from the track and all that, and we shouldn't have to do anything else because we're gonna be, you know, in so much money. It's estimated that when the track is fully functional with this new casino, it would generate approximately upwards of $500,000. We just got cut 600,000. We'd have to have a Northfield Park open every year to handle these kind of deficits that we're been slowly incurring every year. We really have to get a grasp on our declining revenues. In the last 3 years, we're down probably close to $1 million. So this is a huge issue that the town will have to continue to be vigilant on.
I just wanna say that, Mary, did you get your dot matrix printer?
It disappeared. Jay took it and I haven't gotten it back yet. I'm gonna see him.
Probably
When he
souping
comes
it up.
back from vacation.
Probably making it on turbo for you.
You know, in addition, going back, in all seriousness, Monica, you did a really good job on the budget, and I know that all the department heads had really, you know, put their
Well,
nose to the.
I think it's something new, and, you know, we're all learning.
Right. Well, I think what I wanted to say at the end result is with the new OTAS program, next year will be significantly easier because we will have the information, and you can drill down and figure out exactly what's in each bucket and figure out where we spent, where it was, what was going on. So I think this was a big hurdle for us, but next year will be even better, so I kinda look forward to next year's budget.
What I like about this new system is, anybody in the town can come and look at our records and now have an idea of what we're doing. In the past, you could hand people a budget all day long and you wouldn't know what the heck we were doing with our dollars and cents. And now how it's all broken down, I mean, this is great. And it really, I think, is important to let the public be able to know
Sure.
how you're spending the money.
And even more importantly, the department heads to have the tools to be, you know, next day say, oh, here I am, this is
Right.
where I'm at, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to know where I'm at today.
What'd you say?
Would love to know where I'm at today.
Okay, there's a motion on the, table for passage. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
All opposed? All right, Monica will be getting that down to the county.
Yes, I
before
will.
the end of the month.
Tick tock, tick tock.
Be there tomorrow.
Next is ordinance 2013-39, an emergency ordinance amending sections 1262 and 05 of the planning and zoning code relating to permit fees. And,
Does it have to go on 3 reading?
I'd like
it does not have to, but yeah, this is something probably should,
first reading only.
let's get consideration. We can put it on second reading next meeting.
Just in case anyone wants to come in and
Absolutely.
discuss.
You know, Jason has compared our permit fees with those of other communities, and ours are very low. Some of these have not been touched since the early 60s, so paying the same some of them we've, you know, as we've amended part of the legislation have gone up slightly over the years, but these are just kind of to bring them, to modernize, the fees and put them in line with what other people are charging. So this legislation will be on first reading tonight, second reading next meeting. And the next two pieces of legislation are just other parts of the code that are similar legislation. Next is 2013-40, an emergency ordinance amending sections 1040.01, 1040.03, and 1040.05 of the Streets, Utilities, and Public Services Code relating to water line, permit, and tap-in fees. So again, this deals with water lines, tap-in fees. And the next piece of legislation.
I think it's great that we're getting caught up with everything else.
Oh, absolutely.
So Jason, you basically kind of checked what other communities are doing, is that what I'm hearing? And then got an idea, and then, so this isn't just out of your head, you know, it's kind of a comparison of what's going on
Yeah,
with
we're
other
just trying to
communities.
be up to,
What other
we're
communities
still
are
low to
doing.
like city, you know what I mean?
And some of it, we rounded out the number, like, you know, something, if instead of having it $39, you know, we put it on a 5 or a 10 to kind of make a little more sense. Next is ordinance 2013-41, an emergency ordinance amending sections 1042.04, 1042.05, the Streets, Utilities, and Public Services Code relating to sewer line, tap-in, bond, and inspection fees. So this deals with building and storm and sanitary sewers and service department inspections, and that was, you know, a big piece of the puzzle, modernizing that to kind of make sure we do have inspection fees for all the time.
Right.
You know, Jason and his department is spending doing
Makes
those
sense.
inspections. Next is resolution 2013-42, an emergency resolution amending the rate of pay for the fire chief. And with this piece of legislation, Chief Buss and the mayor have had discussions, since he was given the job, and, to give us a little bit cost savings and cost certainty, Chief Buss has agreed to be paid just a flat rate and not receive any hourly rate for the hours he's working. There should be a savings from what the former chief was being paid, and again, give us cost certainty. He's going to work an average of at least 20 hours a week is the minimum requirement for the village. It's anticipated that, you know, he's gonna be spending more time, and like we said, more has gotten done since he's taken over than has happened in the last several years, so. Anything else, Mayor, you'd like to elaborate?
He's gonna be in more of an administrative role than anything else.
Well, I think that's so important because we've noticed in the past that many things just never got done, and, you know, we'll have
We're
laws.
still finding stuff that's
Right.
hasn't been done.
I mean, now we're gonna have vehicles that are gonna have oils changed, air filters changed, we're gonna have ladders inspected, we're gonna have a department that's gonna have things on the up and up, and
Policies have been
I mean,
updated,
there's just so many things. that-
there's so much to do. And the other is, this is more than a 50% reduction, in the previous pay. The last pay for the former fire chief was over $50,000, so this is more than 50% reduction.
But it has to be said that that portion is also working time.
Well, absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Right, he's gonna be working.
But he's still gonna
right.
clock in,
Right.
so anybody
No,
could see,
previous
absolutely.
was.
But even though he's gonna be on salary, he's still gonna clock in, so anybody would have a right to see the hours that he's physically here.
Right, and he's still working shift. Yesterday, you know, he worked,
Right.
you know, shift till midnight, and from, you know, the middle of the day, I think, I don't know if it was noon to midnight.
I always see him up there.
I move to adopt.
Okay, we
On
did
a first
suspend the
reading.
3 reading
Three
rule.
suspended,
Mr.
3
Bowe?
reading rule, sorry.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Volney, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
All opposed? Is there a motion for passage?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mrs. Volney. Any questions or comments? All in favor of passage?
Yes.
All opposed? And I believe that's it for the legislation.
Yes. At this time, is there any old business or new business announcements?
We have one more week with the fish fries with the Ladies Auxiliary, so if you're not doing anything Friday, please come down and see Mary work very hard serving fish. 5 to 7. And we also want to congratulate Cody on his
Tremendous.
tremendous success, and congratulations, Dad.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Nice picture in the paper.
I tell ya, I read your Facebook a lot, all your postings, and you're one proud dad.
I'm very proud. You know, he's an exceptional kid, so I got lucky there.
He's a true gentleman.
Thank you. I'd say some of the kids down there are not kids, they're men, but in Iowa, it wasn't feeling the same way. But I watched him take a dick or two too, so, but it was interesting. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard about Iowa wrestling, but they do take it very seriously. Very seriously.
Well, okay, so moving on, the garage sale weekend is going to be, we talked about the 31st and the 31st of May and the 1st of June, so we need to start to market that.
What exactly do you want me to have Lisa work on as far as flyers? I mean, how do you want that to come about? I don't
I
really
think we
understand.
borrow as much as we can from what Walton Hills already has in place.
Exactly.
Where we have a
They're the experts.
physically have a sign that says garage sale that they would pick up for the weekend. So everybody has a sign in their,
Well, I was thinking we wouldn't do a sign, we would just do something similar
Balloons?
to, the snow plowing.
Now, is,
Give them one stick and a balloon and say, put this at your driveway, and that'll indicate, and then we can also have a map with an indicating of everyone who
We have
signed
them.
up.
We have them.
Right,
They
we
just
need to
have
get them
return
back,
them.
right?
and we're not gonna get them back, that's the problem. I don't think.
Why?
We got them back last year.
I'm back.
Or
Oh, you would collect them?
we'd have to.
Yeah, we
Okay,
need
I
it.
was
It's not a
thinking,
problem.
okay.
Now, on that,
Just tell them on Monday or whatever, the end of it,
Our guys will
our
come around
guys
and
will
go on.
come collect them all.
Right,
Okay.
I mean, if we gave them a couple balloons and a stick,
Yeah.
at the end of their driveway, this is a garage sale driveway, I mean, we don't need to do
Put
a
a different color
sign.
balloon for each ward or something.
Are we,
Or
I
how,
don't know how it works, whatever, I'm out of this.
we have, garage sale permit fees, correct?
Yes.
We'd be waiving it that weekend.
Right,
That's-
I would waive it
yeah.
Yeah.
to
yeah,
have.
that's what I was going, you're gonna waive the garage fee, yeah, I was
The
gonna
whole
ask.
point of this is to try to alleviate all of them through the year.
Right.
Right, and to gain a little bit more traffic into our wonderful
Yeah, but I mean,
community
you
and
wanna,
help the
of course, you're
businesses
still gonna have 3 guaranteed on those.
every weekend. Every weekend,
3.
yeah. Three what? Three
Yeah.
what?
You're only allowed to have 3.
Per year?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a house, really?
That one house only has 3. Yeah,
That
I
one
think he's
house
made
has one every
friends with
single
the-
weekend.
At that house,
Moving
Yeah.
stock
We've-
from one address.
we've
Really?
watched them.
I didn't know that,
3,
I didn't know that.
that's, that whole ordinance is.
So this is May 31st.
It's May 31st and
June 1st.
June 1st,
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday, yes.
I don't know if, you know, the more you add to something like
Lisa
this,
knows
but
tomorrow.
if, we had a group that wanted to cook something or whatever, you could go in, or we could say, chili's pretty, you know, I don't know what, but, you know, one group like the firemen or somebody else would have something, or your group could have something,
Right.
and you could all, you know, and they could go from place to place
So-
even to eat, or.
It'd be a great weekend to have the open house at City Hall and Ledge Road.
Well, the problem is, I don't know, I wanna be totally in and fully operational.
End of May.
End of May.
2 months.
Well, we wanna have the finance
Finance
office
office.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's my next one to get
Yeah,
done.
all right, just tonight, you know,
And it's, we're in the planning phase now.
okay.
Then
And
we're
I
gonna
have to
tear
get
it
the
apart
plaque
and
for,
then,
Mrs. Green's husband too.
so we might,
Well, we talked about not having, or we pondered having the pancake breakfast the same day, but that'd be really more difficult for,
Let's focus on garage sale.
you know,
Yeah.
let's just focus.
Let's just focus on garage sale.
Okay, so if we could put it on the website, if
I
we could
will
start
do that.
flyers and waiving the fee, and
Jeff can put it in the paper.
Jeff can put it in the paper. You're smart.
What are you gonna do, have them fill something out, and,
Yeah,
With their address,
and then we hand them a stake?
right,
With
and
the
some
balloons.
balloons.
Okay.
and then in Walton Hills, when you go, every location has a master list pile where you pick up
So-
and you go to other houses.
So will they pick up that map then?
Yep.
Will they,
I would think
couldn't
they'd
pick
pick
it up
at,
until it's totally finished?
right, I would think they'd pick it up
And
at
they'll
City
make
Hall.
copies for them?
We
Right.
could put a little
You have
table
to
out
have a
there at
deadline
City
by
Hall.
Wednesday before the
Right.
weekend, you know.
Right, it would be at City Hall or it would be at the fire department.
What, we'll get,
I'll let that know tomorrow.
Okay,
That's great.
Maybe I'll say reach out to the graduate coordinator.
can't wait to go collect those driveway stakes, to be honest,
you can't wait?
can't wait.
Are,
Means you'll
have you
done.
collected driveway stakes yet?
No.
On the snow plowing?
April,
Okay, cause, I noticed that two of mine are missing and across the street, there's
well,
now.
that's our little angels that go around and grab them.
Oh, okay, well, see, I didn't know if you had collected them and then somebody just didn't get them that closer to the house.
No,
Okay.
if they're the ones at the end,
Mhm.
they walk down the street, I get calls all the time, so in a year or two, we'll be replacing some of them.
They're
Okay.
kinda like lightsabers.
Yeah. Funny thing is we caught two kids walking down the street, slapping each other with them, right? And, the kid goes, "They're ours." I go, "Really?" I go, "Who's ours? Your mom and dad get them?" She goes, I go, "They're too young to be getting something like that, aren't they?" Give me the darn things. I know where you got them.
But have John's
Yeah.
front yard.
I just wondered, I just thought,
Yeah, they're, the ones at the end of the drive, they walk, as they're walking down the street, they disappear.
Does anyone have anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Selly, all in favor?
Yes.
All opposed?
Thank you all for coming tonight.